So this week's look has come as by a request from one of our MisMacK'ers to do a bronzy goldeny look using shade and gold dust. So starting with my Depuff and Prime gel, I am gonna go in and just make it nice and tacky top and bottom. Next up is salmon with the all over blending brush. Seriously, this is such a game changer. I use this one every single day. So starting right in the center of my lid, I am gonna hug this right into that inner corner to brighten. Like that's just wild. Okay, and here, this is gonna be just more of like a quick sort of look. Doing the same to like the other side. Like let's just watch this magic go down. Notice I'm always working up from my lash line up to my brow. So even when I'm picking up more, I'm starting in that center of the lid, hugging that in, and then using my fingers to blend out any edges. Now I am actually gonna do a halo eye with this look. So I'm gonna take that same brush I did wipe off salmon, and I'm gonna go right into shade. And I'm gonna apply this to my outside corner. Now you can also apply this with a damp brush. You're gonna get more pigment. But for me, I really like a halo eye on myself because my eyes are actually a little bit spread apart from one another. So if I was to do more of a smoky eye and brighten that inner corner in the inner, what it does is it separates and lifts the eyes. So for myself, I don't necessarily like that on me all the time. I really like a halo eye. So I'm going in, starting on that outer corner this time, and then hugging this behind the eye. Now I'm going to take that little bit more product and apply to the inner corner. Really like hugging. You can see that I'm hugging this behind my eyeball. And then blending out. I want to leave this section of my lid space bare. So we're going to do the same to the other side. This is a really great technique if you're just wanting to explore how to do a halo eye. Because shade is nice and forgiving, it's nice and soft, compared if you're going in with Raven or Cocoa, it can be a little bit more of an advanced technique with building it up. But starting with shade is a great starting point to learn a halo technique. Okay, for now for the under eye, I'm gonna take the tip of the brush, going right into shade, starting on the outside, going in. Now I do want the color to be consistently the same all the way around, not fading off after you hit the iris into the inner corner. So it defines and shapes the eye. So same for the other side. Little press and pull downs is the best technique. When you do this, you're gonna flip product into your eye and create a line. So it's like little presses, still following the shape of your eyeball, so I can actually feel that I'm not taking that brush below the eyeball. Like I can actually feel it behind my brush there. And then you're gonna build it up to the density that you would like. But remember, soft blends, you want it to not look like a line, nice and blended out. So this is where I like to take my finger and just sort of blend any of the edges. Remember, this is just a super fast, super easy look. You could even leave it just like this, put some mascara on and be done. So now I'm gonna make this little area pop using the detailed brush, and I am gonna get it damp. So just a little bit into your sink where it's just damp, not super saturated wet. We're gonna go into gold dust and press and pull down in that inner center. Because if you just like tap it, it doesn't really give that same intense reflect. I mean, unless you want it to be nice and soft, for sure, but you're gonna get a better and faster application in a little pull down method. And then use your fingers to dot on the outside corner. Now, these are so pigmented that you can completely blend off that detail that you have here. So be very precise, little strokes, and then lightly blend it. And then it's a layer game for how intense you want that highlight. And you can do this with any of the highlights, really. I'm gonna do one more layer because the first one's always more intense because it's a little bit wetter. When I go back in to add another layer, I'm starting in the very center of the eye. And if you're having a hard time blending it, you can also clean off your all over blending brush and just buff out the edges. Make sure you're not going in the center, you're just buffing the edges. For liner, I'm gonna use the angled brush. I'm gonna get it nice and damp, damping the droplets in the back of my hand. I'm gonna go into Cocoa, and I'm gonna do the little press and wiggle technique just to define my lash. And then slowly moving my eyeball, so you can see how I'm moving, so my eyeball's over here, exposing the white of my eye, and I can get into that inner corner. Just nice and soft. When you're doing your liner, you always want to start from the outside, little presses working your way in. Move the brush based on what's most comfortable for you. Try to start nice and soft, because you can always add, you can't take away. And then building it up. Do you want to make sure you have a little bit more liner or depth on the outside, a little bit thicker. I did get some gold dust onto my lashes, so I'm just going over with Cocoa on that side to fill them in. Last step to the eye is we're gonna wiggle on some mascara. So this is just a really nice, soft, beautiful look, just using shade and gold dust. Now I am using a disposable mascara one of our spoolies at the shop. So it's not gonna give me the exact same lift. Oopsies, and if that happens, use your finger, clean Q-tip, and take it off right away. And I'm just gonna build this up back and forth, do a little bit on my lower lash line, and the eyes are complete. The eyes are now complete with mascara. I did do quite a few coats because when I do just like a nice look like this, I want my lashes to really pop, so wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Now, just for my under eye area, as I already did a quick base coming in today, I'm just gonna lightly dust over a tiny little bit of salmon just underneath this guy here. And then I'm gonna bronze my skin up using gold dust and shade together using the soft blending brush. So when we're mixing two colors, I also really like to do this with Alluring and the new Sunbeam. It's so pretty if you're looking for like a true bronzer. This is gonna give me a little bit more of a goldeny wash to the skin, if that makes sense. The other one is like that true bronzer. You have like that sunbeam, that sun-kissed look. I'm gonna go into my dark, back into my light, back into my dark. And I'm just gonna lightly apply this. So this might give me just a little bit more of a tanned look using, and I am going over where the sun would naturally hit me. So that would be my cheeks, my forehead, down my nose, and into my chin. Because this is gonna kind of like deepen my skin tone just a little bit to give me like a little bit like that Mexico kissed look to the skin. For brows, I'm gonna make this really easy. I'm gonna use whatever's on my liner brush for my liner, wiping it off on the back of my hand, and using Cocoa this time into my brows. So if I'm in a pinch of time, I will literally just kind of use whatever is in my liner brush, whether that is pitch black. Yes, sometimes I will. I'll take it completely out. Use pitch black. Stone is like my go-to, of course. That's our go-to here. And then Cocoa can work too. You just have to be careful with Cocoa because it can pull warm. So depending on your undertone. But starting in that center. And then working our way out. My brows are in the process of being regrown in. So we're going to work on those babies. And then we'll just add a little bit of gloss and we're done. Time for some Gaia gloss. I'm gonna go onto the back of my hand. When it's yours, you go right in. Now you can totally play with this. So I'm gonna try, kind of like what I did with my cheeks, my like golden-y glow going on here. I'm gonna add a little bit of shade and just a tiny little bit of gold dust onto my finger. Now, you don't need much because Gaia enhances whatever color's in there. So you need like the tiniest little bit to give a nice little bronzy, goldeny goddess using your shade, your gold dust, and then cocoa as your liner, brows, and then Gaia on your lips, mascara. Easy peasy out the door. Okay, I'm actually like really digging this look. So I've never done shade and gold dust together as like a glowiness on my skin. I've usually just done it with Sunbeam and Alluring, but I'm really loving it. So thank you to our beautiful MisMacK'er who reached out to me and asked for this look on a Makeup Tip Tuesday. And if you have a look that you've been wanting to learn, please DM me. I'm more than happy. And even if it's something that I've never tried before, let's do it together. I'm actually thinking that this look needs to be a workshop. So if you're thinking the same thing, please DM me or comment below and we will make that happen. So as it is spring break coming up, we do have our youth workshops in the works. So for Kelowna, Sandringham, and Victoria, they are over on our Facebook event pages. There is very limited space with 6 to 8 per day. And we're only 2 days right now. So come on in and get your youth switched over to clean and taught with our lead artists here at MisMac. Thank you again for joining me for Makeup Tip Tuesday. I can't wait to see you at the next one.